Alright, today we're gonna show you how to cook shabu-shabu, what we do best. So we've uploaded the sukiyaki, the Kansai sukiyaki home cook set and the Korean Army soup home cook set, but I guess we've never actually posted a video about the shabu-shabu. So for the shabu-shabu, if you actually have a butane burner, it's best to have it at the dining table, family style, because shabu-shabu actually means, in English, it means like swish, swish. So shabu-shabu isn't meant to cook all the vegetables and meat like for a long time. So it's meant to like just kind of just swish it around the hot broth and then bring it to your plate and enjoy it. So, but then it's personal preference. I like to kind of overcook my vegetables, but then not overcook the meat. So in our shabu-shabu home cook set, you get all the vegetables. You get a choice of udon noodle or Japanese egg noodle or wide vermicelli, and you get a set of fish cakes. This is tofu fish cake. You get a chikuwa, it's a Japanese fish cake. And these are all like different kind of fish cakes, and then a pot sticker, wonton. All right, so I'm gonna start putting in all the vegetables. I like to kind of overcook the onions because it kind of brings out the sweet flavor to the broth. But again, it's personal preference. And I love chrysanthemum. Again, this has a lot of different names. It could be tung ho, crown daisy, all those names. Whoops. All right. And then, you guys, the meat is actually packed prettier than this, but we ran out of it, so I kind of brought, it's not that pretty, but we slice the meats that we give you for hot pot paper thin. So in shabu-shabu, the meat should be paper thin, and that's the way to enjoy it. So it cooks fairly fast in the broth. And I wish I could show you that. So this is actually swish, swish, swish. So you can see it's already all cooked. Like some people like to put it in there for a while, but I like to enjoy it. It takes about like, I think 5, maybe like 10 seconds to cook. All right. And I like to enjoy it with some spicy sauce. We give you a variety of sauces, so make sure to explore that. Looks a little hot, so I'm gonna kind of cut the meat right there. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, you can go ahead and put all the fish cakes in there, because this takes a while to cook. This you want to leave in there for a while. Also, for those of you who don't have a butane burner and don't want to do it family style, I recommend you, if you want to cook it at the stove and bring it to the dining table, go ahead and bring the broth to a boil, put all the vegetables in, put all the meat in, and then once the meat is cooked, you should bring it to the table and enjoy it with dipping sauce at the table. I like to put the noodles in at the very end after I've enjoyed everything. Some people like to start off with carb. That's totally personal preference. There's no rule to that. I'm gonna have another meat. Oh, and mushrooms, very important. You wanna put that in fairly early And mushrooms, I recommend to cook it. Mushroom, you can overcook it. It's totally fine. I'll show you if the meat, like there's people that are impatient, right? You could just put this whole chunk of meat in there and wait for it to cook. It's actually easier to separate it while it's cooking. So see, I put in a big chunk, but it's actually it's not one big piece, it's a couple different small pieces. So that's how you would cook it at the stove and bring it to the table. Also, before wrapping up, I wanted to let you know, once you've enjoyed this meal, the broth is really good. Think about it. All the juice from the meat, from the vegetables, all that flavor is in the broth. So I like to make congee or porridge with the broth. Some people like to save the broth and use it to cook like noodles or Japanese ramen. Some people like to just enjoy the broth like at the very end, kind of, drink it. But this is like all flavor right there, the good stuff. Whew, that's so good. It's already so good. See that broth? That's all the flavor that's coming out. So don't throw it away and be creative. Use it to cook. I think the most creative way I've seen somebody use it is they used it to cook pasta, and they used what do you call that, soba noodles, and it went really well. So all right, that's how you cook shabu-shabu. Thank you guys. Oh, one more thing. If you feel like the broth is a little salty, always add more water, and that's totally fine. Again, when we pack the to-go home cook sets, we actually make the broth a little more condensed than what we would normally serve at the restaurant, just so you guys could add more water, and because we don't know your preference. So always don't be afraid to add more water to it. Thank you.